I was a gay fat loser in high school. Like, I want merch that says that, gay fat loser. I've said that before, I'll say it again. Okay, I just filmed this whole story and the memory card fucking deleted it, so sorry if it's dark in the background now. Hey guys, what's up? Happy New Year. I feel like it's literally been forever since I've done one of my notorious story times. And this is one that I've literally saved since the beginning of my channel. Like, since I started my channel, I wanted to tell this story. It's just one of those things where, like, I'm too afraid to tell it because I know it's not gonna be as good as I envision it. You read the title. It's about the time that my crooked ass high school had me banned from all the colleges I applied to. Which, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought high schools are supposed to, like, lift you up and encourage you, not get you banned from literally your future. Before we get into the video, there is just a few days left to buy my merch. It's been doing so well, thank you guys so much. So if you want it, link is gonna be in the description down below. Give this video a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And yeah, let's get right into this ridiculous story time. I'm gonna start out the story by telling you about this dumbass teacher and my relationship with her. Because I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking my relationship with her was terrible. Typical student and teacher who hate each other. But it wasn't. I actually had a pretty good relationship with her. Like, we joked around a lot. We spent a lot of time together because I had study hall first period and so did she in the cafeteria. She would sit alone at a lunch table and I would go and sit with her. It was literally just me and her at this lunch table every day first period, and we would just talk. We definitely had like a love-hate relationship where, like, we would get annoyed with each other. I would definitely be annoying. She would yell at me in class, but she would also act bitchy. And my main problem with her is that she wouldn't treat me the same when other people were around, such as other teachers
or more popular kids.
So whenever we were in study hall just talking, if like another popular kid would come along, she would start being nasty to me and telling me to leave or literally bullying me. I didn't have the mouth I do now back then. Like, I was a little pussy. I was afraid to make anyone upset. I just wanted everyone to like me. So I would literally let these people bully me. You guys know, like, if you watch my channel for a while, you guys know I was a gay fat loser in high school. Like, I want merch that says that, gay fat loser. I've said that before, I'll say it again. Not many people like me in high school, especially teachers. They hated my guts. This particular teacher, who was my English teacher, who I had a good relationship with when no one else was around, tried ruining my life. So I'm gonna fast forward pretty much throughout 3/4 of the school year to when things started really going downhill for us. Like, the relationship started up here and then I don't know what fucking switched, but it started decreasing fast. So one day we were having one of those people come in the class that, like, sit in the back of the classroom and observe your teacher to see how well they do, which is honestly fucking stupid in my opinion, because obviously your teacher's gonna act different when those people are around. Comment down below if you know what I mean, like when your teacher acts so different when those observers are in the back of the class. They'll act like angels when those people are there in the back of the class, and the second those people leave, they are the
spawn of Satan.
How do you even fail one of those? Like, if you know the people are in the back of the class, how are you gonna fail? Whatever, we're not gonna get into that. But it was one of those days, we were having one of those people in the back of the class. I remember getting to the class, I didn't even notice the person in the back there. The bell didn't even ring yet, we were all sitting down in the class and everyone was just talking. You know, kids turn around in their desks. The teacher, I don't even think was in the room yet. And I was sitting beside these two girls who, like, you know those girls in high school who just, like, pride themselves with being a bitch? They think it's funny to be a bitch and try to act tough, but, like, they never actually got in a fight, because if they did, they'd get their asses beat. I was sitting beside two girls like that, and, like, I was friendly with them. Don't get me wrong, I was friendly with them, but, like, again, they acted very different in front of different people. Let's say their names are, I'll just use the names of my actual friends for them. Let's say their names are Stephanie and Brittany. So I guess they were in the middle of a conversation and they turned around to me to ask for an opinion, and Stephanie said,
"Do you think Brittany's pretty?"
And, like, as a joke, because we did joke around, all I said was,
"Do I have to answer that?"
Number one, I'm pretty sure they were kidding. Number two, obviously I was kidding. Number two, I'm fucking gay. I mean, you can find a girl pretty when you're gay, but for the sake of the story. And these girls obviously did the whole dramatic, like, and then the one stood up and slapped me in the back of the head. So then the other stood up and slapped me in the back of the head. And they kept on, like, hitting me. I knew they were kidding. I was laughing. They were laughing. And I was just like, stop, stop, stop. Like, laughing though. I was laughing. Keep in mind, the whole class was chaos right now. This was not in the middle of class. The bell didn't ring yet. They just keep slapping me. I was, like, laughing. It wasn't, like, that serious of a deal. Would I have rather not been slapped in the head a bunch of times? Yeah, but I knew they weren't doing it in, like, a fighting way. Like, it was just, like, a friendly way. These two girls were also, like, the class pets. Like, they got really good grades, but they were bitchy, prided themselves with being bitchy. The teacher comes storming in the classroom. Right off the bat, it's like, "Andrew!" and just starts yelling at me, like, going off. Like, these girls are, I'm in my seat. These girls are standing around me, slapping me. And she starts screaming at me. I'm in my seat with my head down, covering my head. In my seat. These girls are standing around me, slapping me. And the teacher comes storming in and starts screaming at me. I'm not sure where that adds up. She starts going off and then tells me to stand up and get out of the room. As she's yelling at me, the bell rang. So now everyone's quiet. This is like a scene now. I'm pretty sure half the class didn't even know what was going on before the bell rang, because it was that chaotic. Like, kids were sitting on their desk, talking to each other. This was going on. Wasn't that big of a deal. But now that the bell rang and the teacher's screaming at me, it's a scene. Keep in mind, this observer's in the back of the room, which I didn't know. She's telling me to go outside. And I'm like,
but I did nothing wrong.
And then I'm like mad at the girls because they're not saying anything. I'm sitting here in my seat and they're slapping me. How are you not telling them to get out of the room? Keep in mind, mine and the teacher's relationship had already started going south. I was already really annoyed with her because she was being nasty to me for like a month prior. No, I'm not leaving the room. Like, I'm not leaving the room. In my head, I'm like, she's gonna have to get security to make me leave this room because I did nothing wrong. Tell the girls to leave the room, and that's what I was telling her. If you tell them to leave the room and still want me to leave, then I'll leave. Keep in mind, guys, I was in high school. Now I'm way more mature, and I would have, like, just fucking left the room. I would have been like, whatever, fuck you, I'll leave the room. But, like, I wanted to just, like, prove a point because I was so sick and tired of always getting in trouble for doing nothing. Any of my friends / just acquaintances I went to high school with will tell you I always got in trouble for no reason. So with that, I think with, like, 5 minutes left of the class, the observer wound up leaving. I stayed quiet the whole class because I was so fucking mad. The second the observer left, she closed the door. And this is what I mean when I say the teachers become Satan when the observers walk out of the room. She lets the observer out of the room and closes the door and waits a second, and then she turns around in front of the whole class, looks me dead in the eye, and goes,
You know, Andrew, you acted like a real fucking asshole.
now, I didn't get my degree in teaching. I never taught a class. I never observed a class. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you should never call a kid a fucking asshole in front of the whole class, or at all for that matter. So I was like, my mother will be hearing about this. You guys know my mom. She's a crazy bitch. I don't know if you guys know, but my mom also works in a school. Her job title is like complicated, but she's basically a teacher. She's like the special ed / computer, I don't know, she does a bunch of shit for that school, but she works in a school, has students, that's the point. My mom and my dad go into the school to have a meeting with the principal and this teacher. My whole school was crooked. This was before I really knew how crooked they were, but there's actually this other story time I want to do where like a whole bunch of lawyers who work with schools got involved with this other story. And they actually said that my school was the most crooked school they ever worked with. And they are lawyers that work with schools. The principal and the teacher wound up justifying her calling me a fucking asshole because she had a bad day. Obviously my mom didn't let that go. Like, she made her feel stupid. She said that she works in a school and she would never call a kid a fucking asshole no matter how bad her day was. Obviously there wasn't much more we could do. At that point the relationship between me and the teacher was obviously very fake. There was no more friendliness involved. I wasn't looking for revenge and there wasn't much I could do, but there definitely was some stuff that the teacher could do to get revenge at me, and that's what the main point of the story is. So we're gonna get into that right now. Fast forward to our final exam, which was obviously an essay on Shakespeare. Number 1, fuck Shakespeare. Number 2, let's just really quick, what is the point? What is the point of Shakespeare? He's been dead for so long. He's not gonna get upset that, you know, we forget about him. Let it go. I know English majors are gonna come at my throat right now because they make believe to like Shakespeare, because I know as a fact no one actually likes it. Shakespeare, you can literally Edith my assif. Fuck you. So anyway, because the normal 21st century human being wouldn't understand a fucking thing Shakespeare is saying, my teacher gave us the option to use SparkNotes. And I'm not just saying that to smooth the story over, to make me look innocent. She gave us all the option to use SparkNotes. But she told us this after we actually read it, so it's believable. We read the whole thing, and then she said for the essay, we can use SparkNotes to understand it better. We can base our essay off the SparkNotes. By the way, I haven't told you guys this yet, but the twins who are my best friends, they're always on this channel. You guys know Brittany better, but Taylor and Brittany, they're both my best friends. And she wasn't the Brittany name I used before with the girl slapping me. This is just Taylor and Brittany, the twins, you know them. They were in the class with me. Actually, main characters in the story. For like 2 weeks in the class, you know, we would write rough drafts and this. It was like a thing. Use SparkNotes, use SparkNotes. Everyone was using it. Keep in mind, me, Taylor, and Brittany were basically raised together. I was either at their house or they were at my house. We live a block away from each other. We've been best friends since 3rd grade. Brittany's now dating my brother. They're probably gonna get married. We're just like literally family. And everyone in school knew that. We all had the same teacher with the same final exam, so obviously we're together every day. We wrote them together using SparkNotes from the same source. I was always very good in English. It was always my strongest subject. I was a very good writer, very creative. We handed our final exams in. Fast forward, I'm not gonna make this any longer than it has to be, but Taylor and Brittany were always the quietest girls in class, so nice, never had a problem with any teacher or anyone in school, but this teacher now hated them because they were my best friends. So my teacher pulled out our 3 papers, mine, Taylor's, and Brittany's, pulled them aside, but she didn't come to us with the problem. She went to the principal, the assistant principal, and literally everyone of authority in my school. Then me, Taylor, and Brittany were called down to the office in one of those huge, long table rooms like that you have meetings in, which we've never even been in. All these people sitting around with our 3 papers, our 3 final exams in front of us. Big, bold, circled F's on them. And they started giving us this whole bullshit speech about plagiarism, how we might be held back, our futures are ruined, all this crazy stuff, saying we plagiarized off SparkNotes. We wrote 3 separate papers together. There's only a certain amount of ways you can rearrange a sentence where it's gonna mean the same thing. It's the same essay about the same fucking story. She just wanted revenge, I'm telling you. Throughout the year, it was our English class, so that's the class that we applied for colleges and stuff through. Like, they taught us how to apply for colleges, and we applied for the colleges we want to go to through that class. She didn't stop at the principal and the assistant principal and everyone else of authority. She went through her little fucking files to see where me, Taylor, and Brittany applied to school, which then she contacted the schools we applied to tell them that we plagiarized. You little petty bitch. You had to do that. Like, you had to try to ruin these kids' futures. Keep in mind, guys, we were friends for most of the year. So obviously, me, Taylor, and Brittany call our parents up to the school. The whole college thing was too late. Like, she already fucking told them. It's not like I'm gonna have my mom call the college and be like, my son didn't plagiarize. That's college. You can't do that. For those of you who are too young to realize, colleges take it so seriously. You will be kicked out of the school instantly with one plagiarism strike. After our parents came in, like, we told them the whole story. It was a huge fight, a huge big meeting, back and forth, a few days it lasted. We knew as a fact, because we talked to the other kids in the class, we knew as a fact everyone else used SparkNotes. So our parents told the principal and teachers to pull everyone else's papers to look at them to see if everyone plagiarized. So they pulled the papers, and that's when everyone realized that more than half the class plagiarized, aka reworded Shakespeare's dumbass in a different way. Instead of just passing us, she wound up failing more than half the class. Which I'm realizing now, maybe it wasn't our final exam, because then we all would have basically failed the class. But I think it was like one of the big essay grades, you know what I mean? Kids were crying hysterically, and it wasn't our fault. We were just trying to prove our point. She was trying to ruin our futures. But it ended, and me and her never really talked again until the class was over. She wound up messaging me on AOL Instant Messenger, if that doesn't show how old I am, that's what we used in high school, to tell me how sorry she was, and she hoped the twins don't hate her, and she hopes we can all get past this and be friendly and like each other. You're messaging me behind closed doors where none of the popular kids or the other teachers can see that you're being nice to me. You dumb freaking idiot. You're the reason I had to go to community college.
Bitch.
But that's okay, because in community college I got almost like a 4.0, which doesn't say much because it's community college. But then I got accepted into Stony Brook University, which is an amazing school, and it's the college that I initially applied for. And I never spoke to her again, which is a shame because every teacher hated me, and she's the one I had a speck of hope in keeping in touch with after high school. Besides my 10th grade history teacher, I loved her. But yeah, that's the story of how my high school had me banned from college. Anyway, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. The story was so messy, but I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have been asking for one of my story times for so long, and I don't know why I lost myself and I stopped telling my stories, because I still have so many more. But I'm happy to be doing it again, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and turn on my notifications and subscribe. Buy my merch before the sale ends. Subscribe. I love you guys so much, and until next week, I will see you guys next week. Bye.